Hello everyone and welcome to Low Budget Otaku, and today we have a review of the Figma 419 ReZero EMILIA. My first ever Figma review was from ReZero RAM, and still one of my favorite Figmas ever, and I had high hopes for this one. It is basically helped me complete the set, and I'm very excited because ReZero is gaining a second season. Quickly taking a look at the box, is very reminiscent of the original box of RAM, but of course in purple color to match the character look. We have great promotional material, all the information that we're used to, and I gotta say the first impression of course is Figma quality. I love Figma boxes overall, they are very standardized and actually helps you recognize immediately what is a Figma figure. Before we take it out from the box, let's start that intro.
Follow me, I'll cover you.
So let's quickly unseal and unbox the figure. Overall, everything comes always very well packed, and if you want to tell if it is an original or not, originals don't come with just plastic tape sealing the box itself. All of these parts of course come sealed in the plastic bag, and the figure itself normally comes with some plastic protection between the joints. At least this normally is the standard, and we have several accessories. Here you go, you see those plastic protections around the joints that you need to remove. All of these are made to protect the figure. Absence of this can indicate that there may be bootlegs.
So let's first take a look at the figure itself. She does look extremely anime accurate. The paint job itself is simple but very good, even though there are some smudges. It's not really smudges, but more like dots, especially in this cape, but they're barely noticed unless you're actually looking for them. Otherwise, the paint job seems clean. I see also some paint bleeding on these purple parts here. Very small, but they're still there, so it's not as perfect as, for example, Zenyatta.
Zenyatta, whose review is available on the channel, so you can go check it out if you haven't.
That I previously saw. I guess if I would have to compare it directly to RAM's paint job is slightly better. Another thing that I'm noticing, a problem that I've seen so much on Figma lately, is that the airpiece is not as well connected as I would hope.
My first impressions were a little bit too picky. Forget what I just said, this figure looks amazing. Yes, it does have small details that could be better, but that's me just reviewing too many figures. The figure is at the level of RAM, I believe the detail is on point, and yes, there are small details that could be better, but it's still an amazing looking figure. It's very faithful.
It's a bit special.
So let's start looking at what she brings with her. We first have our instruction booklet that tells us what the figure brings, and of course how to use some of the accessories. Now she's not that accessory heavy, but she has enough to make it a fun posable figure. One particular accessory, her cape, does make you have to change some parts on the figure, so the instructions are definitely useful. Then we get of course our Figma stand, the best stand in the market, with 3 hinges, and of course the adapter to connect to her back, even though the plug itself can connect to her back, but you should use the adapter anyway. It allows you to get a better position to avoid her hair. And then we have her cape, the famous cape that we actually need to change some parts in order to fit the character. And of course a hoodie that serves as another headpiece that you can put a face on to complete the look. To do the exchange, you just remove the head, and then we have to remove both arms from those shoulder joints. There you go. And now we can fit her cape. Now aligning the cape is very important because that peg there needs to be aligned between the cape and the back of the figure. Now we can put her new head in. There you go. And now we can pop off the front of the hoodie to put a new face in. Let's put her smiley closed-eyed face. And there you go, we have the wooded version.
Will you be my waifu?
What the hell is a white?
Shh, it's already done.
We get of course our plastic bag and an extra ball hinge for the hands that you should keep in the bag, otherwise you're going to lose it. So there you go. Next we have an effect part that is supposed to be an attack from her. I believe it's a nice base attack, the one that she does in the show, and you have a proper hand to put this attack on her. And it's a cool small detail. Just another cool accessory, but definitely not the one that I get to use a lot. And then we get her best accessory, that is Puck. This very adorable character from the show is basically Emilia's guardian, and he's very cute character. Now his head is in a joint, I believe a small ball joint, and his tail is in a swivel, but they're very stuck. Probably I'll need to use some hair dryer to get some heat there. Also this little arm that serves as a stand to connect to the Figma stand also is not plugging in because again I need to apply some heat. So I use some hot water in this little stand because of these hinges were extremely tight. So be careful if you feel like they are not moving easily, just apply some heat through a blow dryer or some hot water and it will work fine. I did the same thing with that connection with Pablo, and now I can clip it easy on the Figma stand and adjust him to the position that I want. And there he goes. Exchanging faces is still as easy as always. We just need to remove that front hairpiece off. Just be careful not to rip anything. Comes off very easily, and then we remove the faceplate and exchange it for one of the other two faceplates. So she has 3 different faceplates in total, and there you go. And then just plug in back the earpiece. Now before it looked like it was not connecting as well, but it does connect well enough. It's not like Megumi. So we have her normal happy face, her laughing closed eyes face, and her angry yelling face. Then we have a bunch of hands, like the 2 open hands, 2 grabby hands, 2 fist hands, and 1 special palm hand for that ice attack. So she doesn't bring a lot of different hands or faceplates or accessories overall, but what she brings is more or less in the same ballpark as Rem and Rem from the same show. I still stand by those figures, but what about the articulation? Is it limited like those figures too?
And now comes the interesting part. Let your fingers get in there and have a good old rub-a-dub.
So let's start by the head. The head is in the ball joint to ball hinge system, the same one that we are used to from Figma. Always works really good. This little hairpiece is in a hinge, and so is the hair, but it's very heavy, so it basically just has this hinge to get out of the way when you plug in the stand. Then we have the ball joint to ball hinge system on the arm that allows you great range of motion, swivel on the bicep. We have that circular hinge in the elbow, and we have a ball hinge in the hand. This little part here is hinged, but just basically to adjust in the position to give you more enough of an action look to it. Yeah, so it's not really to do much with it. Now here I'm not sure if it is a ball hinge or a ball joint. Either way, it works very well. Doesn't give you too much crunch or too much leaning back, but that's basically just because of the dress of the figure. Both legs are on ball joints and can only spread this far. You don't have a waist rotation at all, only that far. As you can see, you can swivel on the thigh, kick forward this far, kick back this far, so basically very limited on the legs. Circular hinge in the knee, and a circular hinge in the foot, allows you front back, and a pivot. Unfortunately, the articulation is a bit limited because of that skirt. The same thing happened to Ram and Ram For some people this may be a drawback, even though it helps you to get a more consistent and anime accurate look.
Oh yes.
Figma Overwatch Zenyatta, Figma Overwatch Diva, Figma Goblin Slayer, Figma Konosuba Kazuma, and finally Figma ReZero Ram.
This Figma is exactly the same quality as we got from Figma RAM and RAM. It shares a little bit of the defects, like it could have some more accessories and the articulation could be improved if it was not for the dresses. But still, it's amazingly accurate, and if you're a fan of ReZero, this is a must-have. And of course, it's getting my low budget Otaku seal of approval, even though the price increased!
It's a bit special.
If you enjoyed this review, smash that like button. Tell me what you think about this video in the comment section below. If you want to check out reviews on any of the Figmas featured on this review, and a lot more, in the comment section there's playlists. There's probably some reviews being suggested in the cards above and in the end of this video.
See you next time.
EMILIA!